This is the worst thing. I don't actually understand what we're trying to do. I don't understand what we're actually trying to play. How are we trying to play? I don't know. And as a fan, that's so worrying. So worrying, because it's better when you can go, right, that's clearly the aim here. I'm watching Oxford United in the first 2 games of the season. I don't really know what we're trying to do, especially going forward. I don't think the players know exactly the patterns of play. Right, then it's time we break it down as Oxford United lose to Bristol Rovers by 1-0. I don't quite know what I've just watched. In fact, I do know what I've just watched. One of the worst Oxford United performances in such a long time. In fact, it's worse than anything last year. Probably the year before that. We were horrific. Absolutely horrific. I mean, going forward, the first 2 games of the season, Derby County, Cambridge United, we said it. We said going forward, we look out of ideas. We look useless, hopeless. Against Derby, we never really looked like scoring. We had sort of one chance, half chance, but nothing really. They deserved to win the game ultimately when it comes down to clear-cut chances. We defended well, but one mistake cost us. But on the offence, horrific. Cambridge United, for the pretty much 90 minutes, we were absolutely awful. We got away with one massively. We didn't have a good game whatsoever. The performance was bad. A moment of brilliance from Tyler Goodrum that won us the game. If you hadn't scored that last-minute goal, Tyler, I think we'd probably assess that Oxford United performance last weekend as awful again. Today, a different level. I honestly don't think we could have got worse than Cambridge United, even though we lost that game 1-0. Last week's performance was really, really bad. I was saying during that Cambridge game last week, I don't actually remember a worse Oxford performance. Well, welcome to Oxford United, because a week later, I think I found it. Today, we could still be scoring now. In fact, I'm in Cyprus watching this game. There's a 2-hour time difference between the UK and Cyprus. We could be playing through that time zone and we still would not be scoring. We could be still scoring next week and we would not score a goal. Out of ideas is one way of putting it. Hopeless is another. Useless is just another way of describing the way that we went forward in that game. I mean, defensively, again, the goal, will come on to the goal in a second. In fact, no, we'll come on to the goal now, because I've seen some people on social media. Look, everyone's entitled to have their opinion. I've got a podcast. I give my opinion out all the time. And that's the whole point of football. Everyone has their own opinions. Everyone has their own thoughts. And that's what I think I love about football and love about sort of football media, if you like, over on YouTube. That's why we've got a comment section. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm seeing some people on social media saying, especially, I think it's on, it's on all. I'd say on Twitter. It's also on Instagram, I think, in some of the comments of the posts after the game. People are saying that we got robbed. People are saying that we were unlucky. We were hard done by. I don't quite know. Respectfully, I don't know what game you're watching. I honestly don't know what game you're watching. And that's going to sound really, really horrible. I don't mean it in a horrible way. But what I'm actually trying to say is I don't quite know how you can see that. How you can see that. We, from the first minute to the last minute, the 6th minute of injury time, I don't think there was a moment where I went, yeah, we look good going forward here. We had one chance pretty much in the game that was clear-cut. James Henry, bad header, really bad header. Other than that, though, nothing. First 10 minutes of the game, we were dominant, but didn't do anything with it. I speak about it all the time. You've got to be dominant. You have to be dominant. Now, I understand what people are saying about being robbed a little bit when it comes to the referee. The officiating was poor, but we've known about poor officiating in League One for probably about 5 years now. Referees at this league, they can't do it. The best referees in this league are in the Premier League. Everyone else, they're non-existent. They're poor. They're not very good. But we know that because we see it every single week. The officiating last weekend was bad. The officiating against Derby County was poor. Today, yeah, it was bad. I mean, it was very bad. But and people are talking about the goal. Obviously, the goal did come from bad officiating. It came from the fact that it was a free kick given. It wasn't a free kick in pretty much everybody's eyes, but the free kick was given. They score it. They're actually quite clever. They go short. They put a ball in the penalty area and they score the goal. Look, it shouldn't have been given as foul. I agree with that. But the problem I've got is when the free kick goes against you, you've still got to switch on. You can't just go, well, it wasn't a free kick, so we're not going to be, we're not going to be clever enough to be able to defend it. You've got to, when the free kick gets given against you, you've got to make sure that you are still switched on and you do what needs to be done, and that's defend the free kick. They go short, like I said, they put it in the penalty area. Simon Eastwood, he's probably at fault a little bit with the goal. He probably won't be happy with his decision there. He sort of half-heartedly comes out. I don't know who got it first, but it goes over to Marquis and he pretty much puts it into an open net. So I understand it a little bit when people say the referee and the officiating robbed us. Look, the referee wasn't good. But like I keep saying, the referees have never been good in League One. And when a decision goes against you, you've got to be able to still deal with what is in front of you. I'm not trying to say that it was a free kick, because I don't think it was. I don't think many Bristol Rovers fans will say it was a free kick. But what I will say is, if the free kick does go against you, you've got to deal with it. And got to deal with what's in front of you. And we didn't. We didn't deal with what's in front of us. We felt hard done by. Our heads went. We were sort of so frustrated about the fact that the free kick was given against us. We weren't in the position to concentrate to actually deal with the situation in hand. And it cost us. It cost us a goal. And that's really my only fault defensively. A little bit sloppy at the end, but that's, I think, a little bit desperation. We're trying to sort of play out and try and go forward, but it was just too late. And look, I say too late, actually. Like I say, I think we could still be trying now. We still wouldn't score. The rhythm of attack, which wasn't there. The ideas were just really, really poor. We've gone from a side that scored 100+ goals in the EFL and the Premier League, and along with Man City, I believe. And, I mean, we look like we're lucky to score 20 goals this year. The way we're going, we'll be lucky to score 25 goals. And that is a relegation side goal scoring amount, 25 goals. We'll be lucky to get that. Really lucky. Like I say, you analyse the goal that we scored so far in the first 3 games. It's a moment of magic. It wasn't good build-up play. It wasn't a really good piece of play from Oxford. It wasn't playing it out from the back through the midfield in brilliant transition, play it out to the wide men, put it in the penalty area, really good team goal. It wasn't that. It was a moment of brilliance from an 18-year-old, now 19, who comes on, he's energetic, he does really well on the ball, and it's a finish in the top corner. He won't be able to do that every single week. Players in our side won't be able to do that every single week. Last season, we looked so at ease. I mean, we didn't look great defensively, but that's because we actually committed people going forward. I mean, look, defensively, yes, we look a bit better, but does it really matter now? You've lost 2 games and you've got lucky in the other one. Does it really, because ultimately you're still losing games of football. I mean, in the long term, I understand it. Yeah, it's good to be improved defensively, but we still lost 2 games 1-0, and and to be fair, we should have done better with the goal we conceded today. I'm not taking anything away from the fact, yes, this season we have looked like we've shored up at the back, but going forward, I mean, it's just 1 step forward, 2 steps back. To be fair, 1 step forward, the fact that we look better defensively, but 2 steps back, we still are conceding goals. Maybe it's less goals, but we're still conceding goals, and another step back because we're losing games of football, and going forward, we look absolutely shambolic. Look, we're watching the game in Cyprus, and we watched it in the hotel lobby downstairs, and the hotel manager, lovely fella, comes over and he goes, "Who are you watching?" And he's expected us to say Aston Villa Everton, I think, in the Premier League, or any other sort of Premier League game. Not Bristol Rovers against Oxford United. I think that was probably not what he was expecting. We tell him, obviously, that this is the game. We're Oxford fans, we're from Oxford, and yeah, we're Oxford fans, and and we're supporting the team in yellow. That's how we described it. And he said, what league are Oxford in? What league are Rovers in? What's this game of football? We say League One. We could have got away with saying this is a National League game. And look, I don't want to disrespect the Rovers, but even I think they'll probably admit that probably wasn't their best performance whatsoever. But we made them look even better. They deserved to win the game, 110%. Not doubting that at all. We didn't deserve to get anything but nothing. They were the better side. They weren't exceptional, but they were the better side. They used the dark arts brilliantly. They knew how to frustrate us, and they did it. Like I say, defensively, they were just so hard to break down. I mean, like I say, they were really clever in the fact that they were wasting time from probably the 30th minute. But fair play to them. I was saying it at the time. I said, fair play. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's frustrating, and it's. It's an absolute pain in the backside, but they're winning the game 1-0. We look absolutely shambolic. We don't deserve to get anything from this game. So look, I'm not going to just keep going on about it. We've got so much work to do. Karl Robinson has got so much work to do. As fans playing like this, Karl Robinson's got to be careful. I'm not going to go too far because I know the game's just finished, but you've got to be careful. Robinson's got to be very, very careful. I haven't listened to his interview after the game. I've literally finished watching the game, come straight up here and spoken about it. I really, really hope he wasn't happy in that interview, because if he comes out and says that was a good performance, there's going to be some really quite difficult messages and quite some difficult things from fans on social media about the future of Karl Robinson. I don't think anyone's saying. I mean, there might be some people. I imagine there probably will be, but I'm not there. Obviously now, I'm not saying that he should lose his job or anything like that. But fans won't take much more of that. And if you play like that for the first 5 games, if we go to Lincoln next game and we then go to Morecambe the week after, and we play like that, he'll be lucky to still be in a job. And that's because we're so used to playing some really good football, and we've lost the ability to do it. We've lost the ability to do it. I don't actually understand. This is the worst thing. I don't actually understand what we're trying to do. I don't understand what we're actually trying to play. How are we trying to play? I don't know. And as a fan, that's so worrying. So worrying, because it's better when you can go, right, that's clearly the aim here. I'm watching Oxford United in the first 2 games of the season. I don't really know what we're trying to do, especially going forward. I don't think the players know exactly the patterns of play. And the worst thing with all of this, they've played each other. The majority have played with each other last year. Marcus Brown, he's had an awful start to the season. Cameron Brannigan doesn't look himself. Matty Taylor I think his legs have gone. James Henry, we've just given him a new contract. He looks well off it. I'm trying to go through the rest of them. Marcus McGuane was a standout, in my opinion. Marcus McGuane was man of the match. I think he had a really good game. The only player that can come out of that game with the head held high, in my opinion. Eastwood, I mean, he made one really good save in the first half. It probably was at fault for the second, for the first goal, the only goal of the game. He probably should have come out, but even so, that's a little bit harsh. Like I say, individually at the back, we weren't that bad, but the midfielders, other than Marcus McGuane, and all of the attackers were absolutely abysmal. And it's sad, really, because, already we just do not look in a good place whatsoever, and it's annoying. Let me know in the comment section down below. This is my match reaction for Oxford United against Bristol Rovers. Fair play to Bristol Rovers. You deserve the win. Oxford deserved absolutely nothing. Brilliant win for Bristol Rovers. For Oxford, though, it's a big defeat. And to be honest, there's a lot of work to be done. Karl Robinson has got a lot of training ground work to be done before we next play, of course, weekend against Lincoln City at home. I'm back for that game, watching it on a Tuesday night. It's actually Tuesday, isn't it? It's not next weekend, it's Tuesday. So I'll be there at the game, I just hope we see something better than that, because the only positive today was it was hot, it was sunny watching it, I had a nice pint in my hand, but other than that, it was awful. Ladies and gentlemen, take care, stay Jack, I'll speak soon. See you in a bit.